won't shave it off. I'm not gonna listen.
Woke up this morning feeling spicy. You guys feel spicy? Because I do. Alright. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens. Is this cutting off hair? I'm gonna have to cut it shorter than that. How's it done, right? I think that this is too... It's getting hair. Let's see here. Maybe I gotta cut it. There we go. Have I given up on America? Yeah. I've also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Coloring my hair. Having my hair be long and luxurious. All that shit.
Alright fam, for those of you who've been following this channel for more than 5 minutes, you already know that this gorilla does not get political. I do not seek out political videos. I try to keep this completely on a generic dating relationship niche of a channel. But every now and then, politics knocks on the door of this niche, and I, as a responsible gorilla, must answer that call. And here we go. So, the left-leaning women of the U.S. have decided to go with the 4B movement as a result of Orange Man being elected as President of the United States. Let me follow your logic here, ladies. Because you say that right extremist men elected Orange Man as POTUS, you have decided to punish the left-leaning men without giving them any nookie. Because that's all you're attracted to, left-leaning men. So how does this hurt the right-leaning men? And some of you women say, well, you're going to purposely lower the birth rate in this country and they're going to freak out. Again, the ones who are not going to procreate will be the left-leaning men. The right-leaning men will just go for right-leaning women, or they'll just import their wives. I don't mean that as they're treating them as objects. I mean, like, you know, the passport bro movements. I mean, they'll just leave the country and have a family with another more traditional woman from another country. Probably bring the kids back. Also, that last queen that was shaving her head saying that she's no longer going to look hot and put on makeup and her hair for men. Wait a minute. Weren't you Queen saying that you did this for yourselves, you didn't do it for men? Now, in the brink of her mental breakdown, she admits that she's been doing it for a man? Color this gorilla shocked. Listen, queens, I'm gonna say this with the best intentions possible. Seek out therapy. I know that a lot of my male viewers will say that therapy is pointless, it's really not gonna help, but I have to say to my male viewers, look at what these queens are doing. I mean, therapy is better than nothing at this point. And also, all these women say they're just not gonna give out the nookie, period. Somehow, I just don't think that they're going to hold out for the 4 years. For all my younger male viewers, this gorilla is going to give you a little bit of game here. An average looking to above average looking woman is always getting her taco cracked. I'm talking about throughout the year. Even if she's getting it once a month, one every 2 months, she's getting it. Men go through dry spells. Women go through selective dry spells, and they rarely select very long ones. So I think these women that say that they're not going to have anything with a man are going to do the usual female tactic. They're going to sleep with one guy and say, oh, he didn't count because of XY reason. I mean, falsely lowering their body count is something that women are experts at. Although I do have to admit that after looking at the selection of females that are in these videos, a longer dry spell is believable. Moving on.
Back when I was 24, fresh out of a relationship, I realized that I need to up my standards. However, when I started to date with those standards in mind, I realized that my prospects were miles away from them. I was just looking for men that were emotionally mature, good communicators, honest, and, you know, that didn't prioritize. They were performing a role, I guess, waiting for the end of the day to see if they could make a move. It was extremely disappointing. So one day I decided I would stop dating, I would stop flirting, I would stop looking for a partner. I promised myself that I was going to invest all of that time, focus, and attention on me. And I did this because I realized that yes, the dating pool might be lacking. But if I was attracting these people, something inside of me was like them. So for the next 3 years, I was completely single. It was like hitting the reset button on my existence. I realized that the standards I'd been chasing were not just about finding the right partner. They were about being the right partner to myself. And I got to the freeing point of not needing a relationship, but wanting one. And those are very different. I dove headfirst into a self-improvement marathon. Each day of the week, it had its own personalized area of improvement, to the point that I became the person I wanted to be with. Even though I thought I was before too, but And you know what's funny? Right when I least expected it, exactly when I embraced the fact that most probably I'm never gonna find someone that is meeting all of my standards, that's when I got together with my now husband. We had known each other for years and we never saw each other romantically. And because I became the best version of myself, not only I have met someone that was meeting my standards, but he shares them because he has the same standards for me. What I'm trying to say here is that if you want to participate in the 4B movement, do so, but do it for yourself. Do it with no resentments, no bitterness, no sense of injustice or obligation. Do it if you're truly ready to dedicate yourself to yourself. In this way, it will bring you loads of growth, I promise.
Ho, ho, ho! Fiction can be fun!
Fam, I gotta say that Queen's rant had so many red flags, I thought I was in Soviet Russia. First of all, she starts off in saying that she was only looking for a man who was emotionally mature, a good communicator, honest, and didn't prioritize schmecks. Cap, total cap. I'm not buying that for a second. Women do not have a list that frickin' short. Hell no! She had at least a dozen other things on that list. Come on, fam, who are you trying to kid here? Women always want a guy who's taller than them, who makes more money than them, who's just as educated as they are, or more educated than they are, who is successful, who's ambitious, who's handsome, the whole deal. So telling me that, oh, those are the only four things that you wanted? Queen, please. Miss me with that BS. And another thing I gotta call out, she says that she spent the next 3 years completely single. The issue here is not that if she was or was not completely single for 3 full years. The issue is that men, in general, love how women define single. You know, one night stands, still single. FWB, still single. I got a little bit drunk, still single. But the cherry on top of the whole thing is when she said that her now husband is someone that she had known for years but never saw him romantically. Allow this gorilla to translate that from womanese. She kept that guy in the friend zone for years until she priced herself out of the market, was too old to compete with young women, and decided, hey, you know what? Let's go into my friend zone, see who I can pull out and who I can hook in. And that's who she hooked in. And saying that he has the exact same standards for her? I'm sorry, but a guy friend that after years of knowing you marries you later doesn't have any standards. He was more than likely just hoping with his fingers crossed, oh, you should notice a good guy. Hing me. Until you finally decide, yeah, you know what? I can't get the guys that I want to marry me, so let's just give him a shot. Please, sister, who are you trying to kid here? The sad thing is that there's so many simps out there that marry leftover queens that this tactic is always going to be successful. I mean, there's a sucker born every 5 minutes. In this case, there's a simp born every 5 minutes that thinks that beat up high mileage roast beef is just as juicy and tender as a medium rare T-bone steak. Moving on.
As much as I hate to say it, a 4B movement is not going to happen in the United States. The fact of the matter is that white women, 60% of them voted for that man because they benefit from white. They didn't vote against their interests. It is in their interest to vote for that man. What I do think might happen, most likely, is that there'll be a decline in birth rates as more and more women die from miscarriages that are totally preventable, that abortion could have saved their life. I think people are going to realize what the risk is here. The fact of the matter is that the rise in fascism, the implementation of aspects of Project 2025 is going to scare the shit out of a lot of people, a lot of women specifically. Like, they want to get rid of the Department of Education.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, who could have seen that coming? Lowering birth rates and scare tactics from the reproductive rights that somehow, some way are going to be stripped from women overnight. Okay, queens, let me tell you something. Do you know why a lot of men don't bother to listen to this cry of, I have no control over my body? Because in the US, at least, every man does not have control of his body. Now, for you female viewers that believe that I'm just full of crap, okay. Do you know what selective service is? Every man in the US has to register for a selective service. In other words, they have no choice in their bodies. The government can literally send them off to war to be deleted. That is the ultimate not having a choice of your own body. So when you come back and say, oh, you're taking away my rights, men can come back and say, I have none. To my understanding, women still have reproductive rights, but it's now regulated by the states rather than by the federal government. The same federal government that would send men to war. And before you start arguing, but women also go to war, you're not in selective service. You don't get drafted in. You go optional. Men are obligated. But let's hear what else she has to say.
A lot of people won't have the funds to provide a sufficient high-quality education to their children. A lot of people won't be able to afford childcare. They can't even afford childcare now. And it's only going to get worse from here. The effects of climate change are going to be more and more apparent. Florida's probably going under, and women aren't going to want to bring that. They're not going to want to bring kids into the world. Not with how scary things are getting. At the end of the day, just be careful in choosing your partners. Avoid hookups as much as you possibly can unless you know that that person is trustworthy and is willing to support you and help you in any way that they can. Get on birth control. IUDs are a great form of birth control. They're horrific to go through, but it could save your life.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Wow, fam, the brainwashing is strong with this one. That's a new one, because Orange Man got elected, Florida's gonna go under now. I don't think I've heard that one before. Ladies, honestly, when this is an example of your talking points of everything that you represent, are you actually shocked and shaken that men just don't take you seriously? Now, I am pretty sure that there's several of my male viewers out there that are saying, hey, you know what? If this woman and those like her are deciding not to reproduce, that's actually a good thing. I myself don't think that's the case, but I could be wrong there. The point is, ladies, how silly would it sound if men said that they were going to opt out of relationships and all responsibilities that come from relationships, all because one political figure got elected into office? Do you see how immature that sounds? So I chose this video to show you, ladies, a prime example of what men in the US have to choose from in the dating pool. When you ladies say that the dating pool has pee in it, come back to this video. On the women's side, it's more than just pee. It's actual pure sewer water at this point. Moving on.
Yeah, so this patriarchy stuff that we've kind of been going along with, it's harming us. I mean, men are treating us like crap. They're unaliving us in droves. So I think we're done. We're not going to partner with them or have their kids. Oh, wow. Okay, so you're just going to throw away your divine purpose of serving me and my kids? Well, then screw you. In fact, we're going to leave you alone first. How about that? Okay, but do you promise? Yes, we promise we're going to leave you alone. You know what? Have fun cleaning up your cat litter. Ladies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but some of y'all are going to have to settle. I mean, you have to. We have got to cut it out with all these gender wars. Hey, I'll settle. Oh my God, why are you talking? I don't understand. Anyway, some of y'all are going to have to settle. I mean...
You know, I love it when these women make these videos and go to the extremes and try to act funny and think that this is based in reality when it's really based in just their imaginations. Listen, queens, this could be easily done the other way around. For example, you women say that you're strong and independent, you don't need no man. Great. And then when somebody breaks into your house, you call 911 and 911 says, we'll send a female cop over immediately to handle that big man that just broke in. No, just send a man. I mean, they're good for something sometimes. I mean, let's face it, the bulk of all the infrastructure jobs in every country throughout the world is predominantly done by men. In fact, the technology used for her to record this video and post it on the internet, all of it was invented by men. More than 90% of all inventions were made by men. And sorry there, Colleen. Men don't wake up every morning thinking, oh, I can't wait to oppress you women today. No. And what's even funnier about this is that most of these women that say, I'm not going to have any intercourse with any men, most men are going to be like, okay. There are way more women that are going to say yes. And we all know that these messages are pointed towards the average man because that queen, sure, she's strong and independent until Chad, Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray come on knocking. And then she makes an exception to the rule, but she'll still be single after the player drills her halfway through the mattress.
It's got electrolytes.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.